Hi, welcome to the WADT podcast. Our topic for today is a solemn and serious one. It is something that is affecting more and more people in Singapore. I'm talking about suicide. In Singapore, suicide is the leading cause of death for those aged between 10 and 29. 452 lives were lost to suicide in 2020. And the fact that more than 70% of those who took their own lives are males make us want to talk about it on this podcast. Understandably, those who are thinking about killing themselves or have attempted suicide would not want to talk openly about it. But today, we are honored to have a friend who thankfully lived to tell his story. Please welcome Jamal.
Hello, Jamal.
Hi, good afternoon. Hello. Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you for being on, and thank you for being willing to share your story. Let's introduce you a little. Jamal is working as a safety officer, and he is married with 5 children whose ages range from 4 to 13. Very productive. So since you're a father, let me first ask you this question. What do you think fatherhood is about?
Fatherhood is actually who is a leader in a family, who educate the family into the right path, and a father who actually contribute his life, his entire commitment to the family, to have family, to have his family be safe, have his family with proper meal, being taken care. The thing is that all the children are well equipped with proper place to sleep, proper place to eat. This is all about fatherhood, and educate them with the correct right path.
I like the question, and I also like all the answers that all the fathers give us, because there's no one definition of fatherhood, and what you have said is what you believe in, and that's why we don't prepare you on this question. We surprise you, and it's coming from your heart. I believe it. I believe it like that.
Okay, Jamal. Well, we are here to talk about suicide, and you have a personal story to tell. You had thought of taking your own life, and in fact, you acted on it. Can you tell us what happened to your life that led to it? That means, what was the circumstances, that eventually made you think about taking your own life?
I'm a foster child, and I've been independent since the age of 10 years old, and because my parents are not, I don't get enough love, so I've been independent myself since I was 10 years old, and I've been working since that age, young age, and I always want to be successful in life. And I grew up in such a manner that every time I have to work and work and work to be a successful man. And there was a time that I'm a street smart. Maybe I can tell myself that. So there was a time I did a very I joined a friend of mine. I set up a business myself and asked a friend of mine to join me. So and I did it very well in that industry. I set up a business with a very small capital of $300, and it grew until so huge until I have about 132 staff. And at that time, my age was already 28. That was the age where I earned my first million. You see, and out of sudden, when you start to grow fast, and people surrounding you are already looking at you, what this fella grew fast, how he did, how that. So I have a business partner who I actually joined with him, and he he took away all my business, and I had a very great fall in my business, and that business was the one that my hard work, my I really worked so hard for it from scratch and from zero. I'm a school dropout, and I want to achieve to be someone at this age, and then to settle down myself at certain age. I have so much of dreams, and eventually all my whole dreams have been shattered because of this business, which my business partner took it away from me. And it like it's my whole castle, my whole dreams being a businessman was shattered just in a split second. That was so shocked. I'm unable to accept it. Really, honestly, I'm unable to accept it, because the company that I built was all my own hard work without anyone's help. My business partner is just like basically by the name that he is listed as a business partner. That's all. But the rest of the work was done by me. It's everything my own hard work, you see. And I unable to accept, and that's where it triggers me. I was so so down and depressed, and lost my whole confidence in myself. And I went to I called before I did. I called my wife. I told my wife that I have failed everyone down. I failed everyone down. I said that I had lost my dreams. I have lost my business. I have lost everything in life, and please don't look me up anymore. That's all. That's about it. I said, and then I left my car. I was so well to do. My purse, my mobile, my wallet, everything I left in the car, and I went to suicide myself at Labrador Sea, Labrador Park, along the seaside. So I already committed suicide myself, and then when I already jumped over to the sea, there was this at that time was there was this few group of boys from Pasir Panjang Vocational Institute. I can still recall that was many years ago. They are the one who saved me, and then they saved me from there, and then they talked to me, uncle, abang, that the brother, why you are doing this, And then there was some passerby stopped me along that side and then talked to me. Then there's a few of them come and talk to me. Why you have to do this? Why? So I got no question. I got no answers to talk to them about this suicidal. I got no answers. I say I've been cheated. My dreams are all shattered. I have lost every single thing in my life, and this is I grew from scratch and to what I am, what I was, and now everything back to zero, and I don't know how I'm going to start all over my life again. So I thought that's about it, and
Yeah.
and the boys asked me, Abang, how you come here. I say I left my car over there, and then they go and call. Then they call up my wife that I'm at this place, and then I saw about 200 over missed calls, and it was my spouse. In the end, my spouse called my best friend. They come over and talk to me now.
Wow, that's a very incredible story. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing so much details about it. But I can only imagine, because I don't think I can ever fully understand how you felt, but I can only imagine how you were feeling, because, I mean, a business partner who, like you say, didn't do much or didn't do anything. Maybe he is called a sleeping partner, but somehow he planned and he did something to take your business away, the business that you built up. I think that must have been a very, very great sense of betrayal, and the fact that maybe you were not able to stop it, or maybe you didn't see it coming. Yeah, so like you said, you felt that you have let everybody down, your family, your wife, and yeah, such a great betrayal. So it must be very painful. Hafiz and I, we attended a course on, how to, on suicide prevention. And I think here's a few things we can help our listeners understand what to look out for, because, like I said in the intro, suicide is on the rise in Singapore, and many of them are young people, and I think if you have friends, I'm sure, well, I hope not, but the chances of, one of them, at least one of them, are in such a place and possibly entertaining the thought, or even already planning to take their own lives, this information will definitely come in handy for you. So the first thing we learn, Hafiz, you can remind me, because I may not fully remember all that I've learned. First thing is to listen to what they're saying, and try to look out for, to catch them saying things like, life has no meaning, life has no purpose. Oh, I feel so alone, I'm a burden to everybody, my parents, for example, and things like that, so the hopelessness or the pain and all that, and they want to just be able to escape from this pain, or maybe like in the case of Jamal, he felt he has let down his family, and he feels that he doesn't deserve to go on living and be, or maybe doesn't want to be a burden to others, since now he has no more business, and he's no longer able to support his family, but now he has to rely on people to support. So first thing is to listen listen for these signals, that people, through their speech, you can catch them, and that will give you a clue that maybe they are at this very, very low state, and possibly thinking about suicide.
So the other one is empathize with the feelings. So maybe I'm going to ask Jamal. Did you share with anyone about your feelings, someone you can trust, about your feelings when you were depressed, when you were, in that deep sorrow? Did you, share with anyone? And if any, what were their responses?
No, at that time when it happened so fast, so I give some. I believe I did talk about my work because I like to share my work process to my spouse, and then I say that this is happening. I'm unsure whether what my business partner is doing is right or not. Uh, funds are my company funds are missing, and then now I have no authorized of signature in the account. So these are the things that I spoke to her, but I didn't really realize things gonna turn the other way around, and because I put in so much trust, but this trust actually, this betrayal that happened to me, I stopped trusting anyone,
Mm.
including my family. I don't trust anyone,
Yeah.
and it
So
become
Jamal, from your reply, it seems that emotionally you're not able to have an avenue, all right, a channel
mm,
to share your emotions, and I think this is very important because um, it's assumed that men, when men share emotions, they are weak, right, and therefore men are less prepared to do that. But it's therapy actually when you start sharing your emotions. In fact, today we appreciate that you are sharing your experience. You tell with us with emotions. I can sense it. and I can empathize it. Although we are online, but I can really sense. All right, and having shared an emotion, you feel lighter, right? But you have gone over that period that you can now share. But the problem is many a time when a person is at a state of emotional, deep emotional sorrow, there's no one to listen. And I think what Praksan said just now, once we hear it, we need to feel it. We need to empathize. All right, be more aware, be present when a person tell us their problems, and do not stop. So this is what we learn also in the course. STOP. One is do not stall or delay. Once you see a sign of some kind of sign that the person is really depressed and not even sometimes not talking, not very normal behavior, all right, don't stall and delay. Immediately address him or her, the feeling or the behavior. Second, don't turn away, because sometimes you just want to say that, I have my own problem. I don't want to interfere. I don't know what to do. Even if I know that you know how you want to commit suicide, I don't want to even make it worse. So don't turn away. All right, and that's T. O, don't overlook. All right, the so-called this signal, and we may overlook some signs of suicide that they are showing. All right, and we have a chance to intervene actually. All right, if we know, we don't turn away. And lastly, don't overlook. Don't say, for example, this person is just joking. This person, suicide is so rare. I don't think that it is possible. All right, and make it such that it's not serious. Yeah. So these are some of the tips that
Yeah, I
whenever
want
we
I
see
want to add
signs.
on to that because especially the part about overlooking, uh, because sometimes when we look at a friend, who might be saying things like, life has no meaning, or I would just want to get away from all this. But you think to yourself, this guy has always been a very, very tough guy. He seems to have everything in order, right? Everything put together. He's always so positive and cheerful. No, I don't think he's the kind who will think about taking his own life. So that's a very good example of what overlook means. So what we need to remember is that anybody, no matter how uh, positive and cheerful or successful, maybe he's a family man, then he says this guy has so much to live for, he's so young and he has such a bright future. I'm sure he's not, he will not throw it all away by doing something silly like taking his own life. Now that those are assumptions that we make, which sounds logical, but from experience, at least this is what the the experts tell us. Don't assume that because anyone can reach that point of real, hitting rock bottom and seeing no way out except suicide. So that's an example of overlooking. So I think we need to uh, make sure that we don't think that way and just be open to the possibility that anybody can be thinking this at any time. Then we just need to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So from what Jamal has told us about his story, he didn't have that person or friend or family who he meet every day, maybe a colleague, maybe a family member, who are able to intervene. All right.
That's right.
So the course will teach us actually suicide is preventable. All
Hmm.
right. It can be you, me, can be our family members. It's for us to be aware and have the capacity, capability, and confident to do something about it. Right? Yeah. So if you look at the again, maybe we want to share a bit on what we learned from the course. They say there's a spectrum of suicide prevention. Okay. So after you listen, after you need to establish rapport. Person need to trust to to be able to share their deepest sorrow and their deepest secrets. Okay. So if you don't empathize and you don't listen, they were not going to share. And the most difficult now part is what in the course we were taught is to ask directly. I think
That's the hard part.
I'm just how do you ask? So definitely, Jamal, there's no one to
Yeah,
ask you, right?
right,
Whether you
right.
contemplate suicide. Yeah.
But at that time, after things happen, um, I think my spouse, my wife, who actually she very much concerned. Yeah, she was so patient. I really uh, thank her, so much, because she, after things happen into suicide, there was a relapse in between. Um, trust is one thing. I don't trust anyone, you know, but she was so patient enough to tolerate with my attitude, where I don't trust, I don't eat, I don't talk to anyone after things happened to me, and I was so depressed. I, now you can see me. I'm a big size. Last time I was, when the things happened, I'm more like a madman. More like a start to talk alone. For 2 years, and then I think in between my spouse and my best friend, they brought me to meet up a psychiatrist. Then we I went through the process, and then while on the process itself, I recall what happened to me. You know, I in the process itself, I unable to accept that things has changed me to the worst. It's still unbelievable for me. I'm unbelievable that I cannot believe that I lost everything. You know, and in between also I did another. Uh, I attempt another time by uh, taking all kind of medicines, overdose myself, and then been hospitalized. And then I was missing from home because the depression actually make me walk around like a madman. And then I was missing, and then um, my my wife got panic, and then I attempted the taking overdose of medicines, and I think they call up the police, and then they found me under the drain by overdosing myself, and brought me to hospital. Exceeded out all whatever I have consumed. And then all this, my spouse found it. She already suspected me that I'm gonna do another crazy thing. She already suspected me, so she tried being closer to me and talk to me. But I tried to avoid, because things happen, like the trust that I given to a friend, which I already lost that trust, and then I cannot accept it. Even my spouse or my friend, my close friend, my foster parents, all I unable to accept that I can trust them. I lost the trust because it was such a big betrayal. But
So,
yet my
Jamal,
spouse, yeah, sorry.
yeah. So Jamal, we understand and we hear that the trust is the big issue, and therefore, even if your wife tried to intervene, it
Mhm.
was so hard for her
Yeah.
to even get it out of you. I would like to ask for permission to
Mm.
because this is one story. You have another story to tell. All right, not
Mhm.
about you, but what someone who is dear, very dear to you. Would you like to share something about his experience as well?
Yeah. This experience, that is my son actually also a suicidal, because of that trust. Um, so as a father, when I slowly gain I out from my depression, and then I start to have confidence myself. Then I slowly build up. Then I have my own children. So I told myself that this is me. I put things right like this, means it's like this. See? So I I make decision based on my what my heart says. I'm a father. I'm gonna treat my children this way. I'm gonna brought up my children this way. You know, you don't need to teach me how I'm supposed to bring up, because I was in that manner, and because you can see trust is one of the issue, and I was at a very young age. I already been fostered and been ill-treated, so these two play along until to my next family life, where my own children I start to treat in that manner. So every now and then I believe myself that as a father, most important thing, I put food on the table, and children, please listen to me. Rule number one, father is always right. Rule number two, father's wrong, father is always right. You see? So that is what I taught myself. But every time when I come back home tired from work, and I get agitated with my children and get annoyed with my children, noise, well, and they make, children are children, they make so much noise, they play around this and that, but I get annoyed and agitated, and then I whack them, I beat them up, please behave, but I thought that is the way of teaching them, to discipline them, beating them, whack them, and then scold them. Hey, I was so independent, I do all myself. Why you cannot do? Why you cannot listen to me? That kind of thing. And then there was one time my son, I have 5 of them, my second son, and at that time he was 7 years old. And my second son is a bit slightly mature in sense of thinking. When he did something wrong, when he speak louder or go against me something wrong, and I whack him, really beat him up, and he questioned me. He's crying. He sit down and he tell me something. Daddy, I let me tell you something. Are you okay or not? If I kill myself, will that satisfy you or not? Will that satisfy you or not? When he said, it recalls me what I did previously, and I love my children. My children are my next generation. And then he said he killing himself, and he's 7 years old. I totally stunned, I really stunned myself. What did I had done wrong? I told myself, I really did something wrong, but I don't know how to express it. I really don't know how to express it, and I just walk out from my home. I don't know what to say. I don't know, because the way he put it, that he said he gonna kill himself, and then and I just stopped. I don't know. I got stunned. When the message he passed it, I just got stunned.
So I presume that since that day, your fathering methods have changed, and from hearing from you, you are very different father today. The way you treat your kids is also very different. Would you like to tell us a bit about what has changed and what caused the change?
I actually, when I had joined this father's parent support group in my son's school. Well, because this thing happened, I got really no idea where to look for. How should I find answers for this? What he asked, you see? So at that time, I already start talking. I start to communicate to my spouse a lot, and I went down to school. So I'm in school. They have counselors, and I joined this parent support group. I want to find out what this parent support group does. So this parent support group actually advised. I was one of the members, and then they advised me to join this fathers group. At the time I wasn't. They say they recommend me Center for Fathering to go into that and find out what I can actually look for. You see what I can really look for. So I went down to join. I joined Center of Fathering, and then look for something, and then there was a workshop I attended, and then from there I pick it up, and now my children, they are so close to me. They are so wonderful to me. Previously my children, they don't really talk to me. They don't really ask me anything. They don't. They really hate me. They when they see me, like they see a devil coming to them. But now I'm their angel. They are my angel, and I'm their angel. We love each other. There's no secretive. We share everything. What happened today? What happened to them today? They will share it to me. Up to the extent of my children share. Even they share simple small thing also, and every day they expect me to come home with something. They were waiting for me at the door steps, for me to come home. So when I come home, they were so excited to see me now. Including my daughters. Hey, daddy, hi. My son, the one that said he wants to kill himself, now he's very close to me. um, so we work together, like painting the house. We do carpentry work, electricals work. All those small things I do together with them. And then even homework, their homework, and then I sit down. I mean, now I don't have any hiccups with my children. That's the best thing. After I went into a lot of hardship, and then I pick it up with many fathers where I communicate, in Center of Fathering, in the movement of Dads for Life, yeah, in the school group, school fathers group, parent support group. I pick it up bits and pieces from everywhere, and I combine into one, and now I'm having a wonderful life with my children.
So we see this,
Wonderful.
really amazing transformation in you. All right, with your story and with what you are doing now, and even you volunteering now. You're one of the most active, I heard, volunteer in Center for Fathering. I think when you said you have a lot of hardship, I think a lot of things that I'm picking up from here. With hardship come ease, right? I mean, it's the reason why hardship is given to us. It's a matter of how we, see the hardship and be able to transform it into something positive. And you have done it really, really well. Congratulate you, and your story should be known. That's why we were very, very looking forward to having you on the podcast. And more importantly, you don't have to experience what Jamal has gone through, right? That's why we couple this episode with how do we approach people who have show signs of contemplating suicide. And just to continue, when we talk about the so-called model, how to approach people who contemplate suicide, we have talked about listen, L, is the life model, LIFE. We talk about inquire directly, all right. You can ask directly, all right, are you contemplating about taking away your life? I mean, say it in a more gentle and empathic way, not a threatening way, so that it goes smoothly. And third is to find a lifeline. Remind the person that someone in his life or her life needs him or her, that he is being appreciated. Only that when he is in a state of, or she in a state of depression, all these things are being blocked. So provide that lifeline, even if you can be the lifeline to him or her. Means tell the person that you value, that he exists, that his existence has a meaning. And lastly, and think more importantly, to engage professional help. So I think we have to complete a loop, because most of us are not equipped, not experienced, we're not highly trained. But I think through that course, I don't know about you, Pakson, I really learned something valuable, and I would like to share with everyone, and that's why we are doing it now.
That's right. That's right. It was a very, very beneficial course, and I think what we learned, if we can remember it and we have opportunities to use it, or when we do face such people, come across such people, I think at least we will know roughly what to do. So we would definitely recommend, as many of you to attend it as possible. We'll put the information on our social media platforms so that you can register for that course. It's completely free. Okay, but it's definitely life-changing. All right, even if it's not for you, for someone else. Okay. All right,
Uh,
thank you, Jamal, for taking this time to share your story. We really, really appreciate it. We are very moved by it, as well as very grateful that you are here today with us. And your children still have you in their lives, and your wife, who has been so, enduring and endearing, patient with you, and really uh, the long suffering of your wife, really, uh, you know I'm sure she's happy about it today, because she has a transformed husband, and your children have a transformed father. So we want to congratulate you. We are so happy for you, and please say hi to your wife and your kids on our behalf.
sure. Thank you. But I also like to highlight to those uh, person who wants to commit suicide, who have intention of commit suicide. Please don't think that way. Failure is a kind of a roller coaster. Take it positively. If you think that you have intention, please uh, try to share to the close one that don't take your life just like that. God create problems for us to suffer, is for us to learn how that we can overcome problems. Don't Life is so precious. Please make full use of it. And then those who what Hafiz was talking about, lifeline, wife, spouse, siblings, please be patient with this kind of person. Don't give up on them. Uh, I'm so fortunate that I have a wife and a best friend who stay by my side all until I overcome all these obstacles. Do not give up on these kind of people, and they can do wonders once they turn over. Thank you so much.
Absolutely agree with that.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Jamal.
This has been the WADT podcast. Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow us so that you will not miss any future episodes. Also, do let your fellow dads know about this podcast. If you would like to react to what you have heard today, just head to one of our social media platforms. We are on Instagram and Facebook. Or you can email us at wearedads2@gmail.com. Do also let us know what you would like us to discuss in the future podcasts. Till the next time, this is Hafiz and Parkson signing off.